Mouse Trouble News fans, I actually have some very bad news for you. As some of you may be aware, there is a new website under development called Social Autopsy. Now, the project was created by a developer, Candace Owens. Now, the purpose of it is to allow public access to the digital footprint of individuals. Basically, it's a gigantic archive of hate speech. Essentially, how it works is somebody screen caps something you say that then goes into their big database where you upload it anonymously. There it remains with your name, your docs, your employer, etc. The point of it, according to the creator, is to help prevent online harassment.
Introducing Social Autopsy, the first ever search database that compiles and allows the public to easily access the digital footprint of individuals and companies. Our team has crawled through the public interfaces of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, creating real profiles for the individuals that lob hate speech over the web. These individuals are your teachers, doctors, neighbors, and business owners, and for the first time ever, you'll be given the chance to run a real background check on them to see what these people represent behind closed doors.
Now, I'm sure Candace Owens, the person who created this website, she's asking for funds on Kickstarter, etc., is probably altruistic in wanting to stop hate speech. What she's doing is outright doxing. Now, she claims it's not doxing, but it is. Basically, that's the person, and then you list where they work so that you can contact their employer and tell them they said this online. That is doxing. I don't know how in her mind this couldn't be. Now, she's already gotten into a big kind of situation with herself. Basically, what happened was she announced this service where you can anonymously upload screenshots of something someone says. In other words, you can just upload anything and you don't have to actually prove it came from that person. Well, logic would dictate that that would make the whole thing open to abuse. That should be pretty obvious. Now, Zoe Quinn, one of the women surrounding the whole big Gamergate thing, said as much, and that this was a bad idea because it was open to tremendous abuse, which it very clearly is. Now, this woman, Candace Owens, then replied to Zoe Quinn by basically calling her a bully by pointing out this gigantic flaw in her proposed website, and then went on to claim that Zoe Quinn was behind the whole Gamergate thing. She's claiming that she runs the whole Gamergate thing, like all the harassment against her, etc., is something that she controls. I mean, of course, the idea is frankly ridiculous. But there is a very real threat of this being abused by people. I mean, it's very obvious. You can anonymously claim somebody said something, and all you have to do is provide a screen cap, which is incredibly easy to fake. It's ridiculously easy to do that. So you can make a claim about somebody, completely ridiculous, and you don't have to prove that it's actually true, and you can remain entirely anonymous. Oh, well, exactly how easily could that be abused? I mean, come on. This site is begging to be used as a form of harassment itself, given the entire way that she set this whole thing up. It would be great if we already had some kind of big database of everything that you have ever said on social media that somebody in some position of authority could review. Oh, right. Now, other than the fact that this is very clearly going to be used to harass people in general, the whole thing about getting people's employer involved, I think, is really, really greasy. I'm of the opinion that my employer doesn't have a right to hire me or fire me based on anything I believe or anything that I say publicly, which has nothing to do with the company, because then you're giving employers the free hand, or at least the precedent, to control what their employees do outside of work, which is absolutely wrong. And this woman is essentially enabling that. I mean, how far do we really have to go here? I mean, really, really think about it. This is the kind of thing the Nazis would have wanted. Like, this is, they would wish to have something like this. I'm not saying she's a Nazi, she's black, so that's going to be interpreted as offensive. What I'm saying is you have this ridiculous system where you can just claim up anything you want about anybody and keep this massive online database of things people said. If somebody wanted to do that to me, they would just have to go scroll back in my Twitter, scroll back in my Facebook. Everything's there. But this can be all done anonymously with easily faked things. I mean, this is like a gigantic database of anything that could be possibly used against you. And it's not going to do anything to stop anyone from harassing anyone else. I mean, people don't go around using their real name when they harass people online, so what good would it actually do? And to me, this is the inevitable end result of identity politics. This is the inevitable result of liberal social justice warrior mentality. This is an archive where someone can just record everything you've ever thought or said, even if you didn't actually say it or think it. That's exactly what this is. This is one gigantic database on your personality. This is the kind of thing that George Orwell would have complained about while he was assisting the imperialists, but I digress. This is one of the things people worry about totalitarian governments, that they're going to keep a gigantic database on you and everything you've said and everything you've ever thought. Yet here we have this social justice warrior doing the exact same thing. When you base everything on identity and not a scientific understanding of society and how to create real change, this is what happens. When you don't know how to actually change things for the better, all you can do is try to ban people from saying something or ban somebody from thinking something, because they have no idea how to actually really change society. So we end up with this totalitarian hellhole that identity politics is absolutely dragging us into. And where do you draw the line at what is offensive? She said that she would make the decision on what's offensive and what's not. Now, how quickly is she going to shut down or just create databases on people who engage in legitimate debate? Because you already know if she's a liberal SJW, then debate basically isn't going to exist. This is a terrible idea, and there's a big question about whether or not this is even legal. I mean, if this was coming out of the government, people would be up in arms about it. But because it's being done by a lone individual and people are free to do with their money whatever they want, whatever they want with it, they're going to be funding this site. And I think that's something we definitely need to worry about. Because that totalitarian nightmare, where they record what you think or what you say, even somewhat along the lines of V for Vendetta, it's here right now. It's being brought through under capitalism. It's being brought through right here under liberalism, under identity politics. And you can't say I didn't warn you, because I've been warning about identity politics for at least 2 years now. Thank you for watching. Why don't you go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want, you can head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you could head over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.